Hi, welcome to All Things Possible TV. I'm thrilled to have you here with me. I'm Kris Barney, and I love being able to share with you. I love the opportunity that we have to have so many join us and so many people watch the videos and the things that we put up and the information that we share. Today I'm going to talk to you about leadership. I am thrilled to be able to share that with you. It's something that I keynote on all the time. I share with leaders and executives as well as business owners. And every time I share this, I have to let them know that it starts from the inside. Before we jump in and get really going on this, I want to invite you to join me on my website right here, allthingspossible.biz. If you haven't joined us, I would love for you to join us and our community with All Things Possible and be able to really connect with the things that we share, the techniques, the different levels of learning that you can gain from this. I share my 7 Traits video series, and I would love for you to get that and to be able to be part of our community. So let's jump in. Leadership inside out. What does that really mean to people? You know, recently, this last week or so, I just went through the 18th anniversary to my twin brother's death. And it was a really hard time for me. We had had a lot of struggles in our life. We had gone through, you know, a child with cancer. I'd had major surgeries and an emergency hysterectomy at 24 years old. We'd gone through adoption. We had all of these things going on. In fact, when we went through the cancer with my son, we even had to live in a trailer for over a year, a camping trailer, to recover from the financial part. We had to sell our home and live in this trailer. So we'd been through so many different challenges and trials that when we came up to this, I have to say one of the biggest challenges and trials in my life was my twin brother committing suicide. It wasn't just a death that happened. It was, he chose to take his life. It really put me in a tailspin. I hit the bottom of the barrel. And sometimes when we don't get to the depths of despair and that final point of, I can't go on, we don't really realize what it takes, right? And I had people saying, oh, you've got to pull out of this, or maybe you should get on some medication, or I had a lot of people that said a lot of things, but it wasn't living for me. It wasn't making a change. And I had to dig deep inside myself to decide what it was going to take. And as I did that, that is when I developed my 7 traits. The 7 traits that I teach all the time. So I just recently released my book, The Basics, the 7 Traits to Change Your Life and Your World. And I had to really find what it was going to take me from being basically in my room. I didn't want to come out. I was in deep depression. I was in despair. I felt like half of me had died. And I finally got to the point where the absolute tipping point was when my very best friend said, I need a break. You're too negative, it's too heavy, it's too hard, and really I can't stay here with you any longer. I can't be held back by this. It can't be part of, I have to let it go. And it was such a painful process, and yet it was exactly what I needed. And I'm so grateful to her now because she was able to do that. That was a really tough thing for her to pull away when I really was in the depths of despair and had a lot going on. And by doing that, I really had to find what it really meant to me and how I could be different. I had been a leader all my life. And so to be in this point right then, I had to really dig down, discover how I had found what needed to happen during tough challenges. You know, what happened when I had the emergency hysterectomy? What happened when adoption didn't work? What happened when my child had cancer? What happened when we went through all of these things? So I want to share with you just a little bit of what that looked like for me, because for me, leadership meant that I could lead and influence others, that I did have those qualities. And yet at that point, I couldn't find any of them. And having people say, snap out of it, it's a choice, you have to do this, really didn't help me. I had to find it for myself. Now, I don't think that to have great leadership skills, you have to get to the depths. Okay, so understand that you don't have to get there. But for me to figure this out, for me to really find what worked for me and how that did work, that's where I had to go. I had to go through a really hard process to be able to come out on the other side as someone who shared leadership skills, that changed my whole path, that would actually speak. I was not a speaker. I didn't want to be a speaker, and that wasn't something that I had on my radar, like, let's be a speaker, let's really share. But I want to really quickly go through, what is the definition of leadership? I want to read it to you because I have a little bit different twist on this. This says, leadership is the position or function of a leader, a person who guides or directs a group. It is in management, administration, directorship, control, governorship, stewardship, authoritativeness, influence, command, effectiveness, sway, and clout. Now, while I agree with all of that, I think it's missing a huge piece. I feel like true leadership starts from the inside out. And to be a true leader, you also have to have character. You have to have honor. You have to have integrity. You have to have values. To be of influence, you have to have courage and confidence. And you have to be willing to have gratitude and really find those other traits that go in with all the others, right? And we have to develop those traits to become a leader, to become someone of influence. And even in our families, we have to lead our children, right? We have to be a leader all the time. And so it's important for us to learn these skills. The 7 traits that I teach, simple service, genuine gratitude, courageous confidence, exceptional excellence, even complete communication, right? Impeccable integrity, lasting love, all of them have to be developed. And every one of them, we can have places that we need to improve. I want you to think about, in history, we have all kinds of leaders. They have all those qualities deep down within themselves. They own them, they live them, they are those qualities. Think of Gandhi, Martin Luther King, right? Albert Einstein, and even more recently, Zig Ziglar maybe, and Jim Rohn, and one of my favorites, I even walked on fire with this man, Tony Robbins, right? And to have that kind of influence, they lived these traits from the inside out. They owned them. And that starts inside. People say, what does inside out mean? Well, when you develop these on the inside, they become what you are on the outside. You become the leader that people want to follow. You become the leader that you want to follow. I want to say that again. You become the leader that you want to follow. Are you that leader right now? Is there maybe a little bit of a change that could be made, right? Let's look at some other things in history. There's some people that had it all, right? Money, fame, fortune, and lacked some of those inner traits and threw it all away. Like Tiger Woods or O.J. Simpson, right? I mean, we look at those things, even Lance Armstrong. We look at those and go, wow, they had it all and it's gone, right? And what it came down to is what was on the inside. What was on the inside that they portrayed on the outside. It shows up. It absolutely shows up over and over and over. It shows up in our life. And what I really want for you to take from this today is that what are those leadership skills? What is being a leader from the inside out? Are you being the leader you want to follow? I have written an article about this, and I would love for you to read the article that I have put out with this, because it really will get you to think about, where are you at? Where could you up level? What things could you do differently? And what does that look like for you? You know, my company is All Things Possible, and I love that because I know that all things are possible for everyone. We all have anything possible to us, but we have to want it. We have to want to up level. We have to want to change. We have to want to be the leader that we want to follow. And to do that, we have got to implement the traits that I teach and really dig deep into ourselves and start from the inside. When we own those traits and those qualities and those attributes from the inside, they show up on the outside. So I'm thrilled that you're here with me. I hope that this last 10 minutes that we've spent together really struck a chord with you so that you can go, wow, yes, I do want to up level. I do want to become the leader that I want to follow. And I want to move forward in my life. I want to reach new levels and achieve massive things and have huge success, right? Thanks for being here. Again, I'm Kris Barney. If you haven't joined our community, join it now, allthingspossible.biz, and be a part of the movement that I am creating and that I love to be a part of. I love to make change and to create change for people and watch people succeed in their life. I love to be able to assist that process, so join us. And thanks for being here today, and we'll see you next time here on All Things Possible. Bye-bye.